Hey. This is HQ. HQ Reacts. So we're gonna get into this Ashley uh Dalton video. Um it's a reaction video about a young lady, single mom, having some sour thoughts about being a single mom and her chances of getting love or finding love because she's a single mom. Let's see. Let's see what's going on with this young lady. Let's see.
Positivity. Thank you, Oliver.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Welcome in. Hi, welcome in. Do you consent to be on a live and potentially all platforms?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have a 2-year-old and she's trying to get in, but I'm not really the biggest fan of that. Hi, Ashley. I'm a really big fan of yours. Um, Thank you for, welcoming me into your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My only question, I know you said one question, and I know you also say a lot of time that don't look at the comments when you come up. Like let's focus on the dialogue, let's have a good conversation. Let's get into some things. So the thing that I want to get into, I'm from Las Vegas, born and raised. I am 28 years old. And really, my main question is, do you see anything on social media or in real life that other people, single mothers, I should say, because I'm a single mom myself. I was in a 8-year relationship with both of um, my children's dad. So they have the same dad. And I wanted to know if you had any advice for women who are single mothers and they're trying to step back into the dating world.
I know you are a single mom, but you don't always need to acknowledge that you are when you're going out to date, you know? Men don't acknowledge it, so I don't think, women should. So I think you just need to get yourself together, work on who you are, and put yourself back out there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like that advice. I think that personally, a lot of people that me personally, I'll just speak on me.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got back into the dating world or decided that I wasn't going to take any more time, I should say, with my children's father, I realized I had to know my worth and my children, my history, my dating history, and the things that I did when I was younger and unexperienced doesn't define me. And not only did I want to ask for your advice, I wanted to encourage any other ladies who are also, single mothers. Like you said, you do not have to accept that as your identity.
Well, see, here's the thing. What Ashley just told you was she just told you you don't have to acknowledge the fact that you're a single mother when you start going on dates. That's what Ashley just said. I agree to a certain extent. When you're just dating and you going on one date or two date, if the conversation comes up, then yes, I would acknowledge that I have children. But I wouldn't necessarily bring it up in the conversation. But most people bring it up in the conversation, so most people know. So it's a part of your identity, it's part of who you are, right? And you should give people the option of dating a single mother. Some men don't mind, some men do mind, a lot of men don't mind, but you still give them the option of dating you if you're a single mother. Most men are going to date you if you're a single mother and you are to a certain extent. If I'm 40, you shouldn't expect me not to have children. Most of us have children by the age of 40. So that shouldn't even be a surprise. If you ask me out on a date, then you should know more than likely I have children if I'm 40. That's my take. Ashley's saying you don't have to tell someone that you have children. Yes, you do. On the first date, I think that's a very good thing to do it on the first date simply because that gives a person the option to say yes or no, whether they want to date you. Depending on your age, most people have children. If you're in your mid to late 30s, 9 times out of 10 you have children, man or woman. It just is what it is. Okay. There's a bigger variety of men or women that don't have children, but it's 54% of women. Some percentage that women don't have children and men don't have children. 54% of men, and I think it's like 46% of women are single, don't have children. It's a you can find somebody who don't have children, but a lot of people do have children.
Don't make that my identity. It's just it's easier to relate to other women when they go through what you go through, or maybe something similar.
Hmm.
So I appreciate you saying you don't have to acknowledge that, and it's not you're hiding your children, because I did see that a lot too. On TikTok, people were saying like, "Well, I don't mention." I think Shira said, "I don't mention having kids," and it's not that it's a lie. If they ask you if you have kids, then I guess if you're comfortable, you can share that. But you don't have to make that your personality, because I do feel like a lot of men will look at you and say like, "Oh, she's a single mom, she has 2 kids, let me offer her less." And my in my experience, just because I've had bad experiences, I won't let that tell me that I'm not worth what I feel that I deserve.
Mm, that's fair. That's fair. So it sounds like and you kind of have an idea, and you don't kind of lean into it when you go out. So that's good.
Yeah. And I guess, if I'm allowed to, can I ask any encouragement that you have for young women who feel discouraged, because right now there's a lot of propaganda about, oh, you're a single mom and you have kids and this, that, and the other. How dare you have any standards? Once you feel that you've healed, why is it that you don't, the society, I should say, isn't accepting to a woman learning from her past and turning her back on bad decisions and wanting better for herself? Like, what's your advice for those women that deal with that men?
There is nothing wrong with it. There is nothing wrong with you dealing with your mistakes or having the ability to get past your mistakes. The whole point is it's a goofy logic, and I'm not going to go for it, but I think people should be transparent up front about having children so people can make the choice. And you should be very proud of yourself having children, and you should only date people who understand and act accordingly. I say if you have children, don't date people who don't have children. Don't pull a single person into your world and you're single and they don't have children but you do. Okay? Cuz a lot of people will be like, "Well, you don't deserve." It's not a matter of deserving. It's a matter of whatever comes to you. Because there's a lot of men who come to you and they're single and they don't have kids and they would love to date you. Just find those men. There's really no set example.
And those type of men, because there's a lot of it, especially with the Kevin Samuels thing going on.
Yeah, but if you consume that content on a daily, then that will become your reality. I'm not saying a lot of the stuff that some men will say isn't true. I'm not going to say that.
Mhm.
But if you consume it, then you're going to live in a bubble. You're going to stay home. You're going to believe I'm never going to find someone. No one's ever going to love me. I'm never going to find anyone. You're just going to lock yourself away.
I agree.
Hmm.
I agree. I personally, I stopped subscribing to, and it wasn't, the For You page will kind of like throw little things out at you and see if you'll listen to it. So I'll listen to see what they're talking about, and then when I get the idea that it's like a mom bashing, or whatever it is, something that's not productive to your confidence or your self-esteem, I will get off of that. Like, I'll hit not
But
interested quickly. Like, I'm not gonna
my
listen to
question,
that.
right? My question too always is to the ladies and to the guys. What is your life like in real life? So when you're not on social media, are men approaching you? That's my question to you. Is the reality of your situation different from what they're saying online? That's how I like everyone to look at it. Forget what people say to you, call you this. They could say anything about you. But when you leave your house, what is the reality?
To answer your question, yes, men do, approach me. And I think when they hear my standards for myself, it's, I don't have a ridiculous expectation for people that's unrealistic for even myself. I give grace to everyone because I'm a human too. We all have, we're all humans. However, yes, they do. But I do think that once they learn that, oh, especially this is more common with men without kids. And me personally, I'm not a fan of dating men without kids, just because I just don't think that, number one, I don't want to have any more kids. Okay. So I know that about myself, and I don't want to set a false expectation or leave room for someone to get into something that they think that they're going to get something that they're not. But yes, my reality is different from online. And so that's why I also said I wanted to encourage a lot of other single women, because we're in this chat and we're listening and we're having these conversations.
You don't have to encourage single women. Single women don't need any encouragement to find men. There are plenty of men out here who will date single women. This goofiness that you hear online is just that goofiness that you hear online. Because the reality is, when you wake up and you walk down the street, there's going to be plenty of men to find you attractive. So you act accordingly. They know you have children. If they approach you, then that's fine. It is what it is. This is strictly online. We hear this goofiness online about, oh, the single mom can't have kids. Single mom is not going to get a date. Oh, nobody wants a single mom. That's not true, because the prettier you are, the easier it is to find a man and have another relationship. Now, you said you didn't want to have any more kids. Now, that might be a little bit more difficult. You gave Nug Nug 2 kids, but you don't want to give me no kids. That might be a hard sell, but if you're willing and open to have children, you should be able to find a man to marry.
And sometimes it looks different for us. So I just wanted to hear from your perspective, from your perspective, what you advise. So I really appreciate that.
Yes, you're welcome. And again, like you said,
what the heck is wrong with my Wi-Fi? What the hell?
your real life is not what they're saying about or talking about online. So just lean into that,
Thank you. I appreciate that. And anyone else that's in the comments that can relate, or maybe not, just have an open mind. I thank you, Ashley, for having an open mind and having an open platform for ladies. Like, they're saying, oh, she needs to vent. We all do sometimes, but this really isn't about venting. It's just, I wanted to hear from another woman that's wise, about a different array of topics. So this is just one of them. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Ashley, for letting me on. Have a great night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Well, this is interesting. I don't know what the hell was going on, but she was a single woman. Single woman concerned about dating, saying she's concerned that people are the tide may be turning about single women dating offline. And I give her the advice that whatever your life shows you, that's what you go for. Whatever your life shows. So if you go outside and you have plenty of opportunities to date, then you go by whatever that opportunity is outside. That means you're able to date regardless of whether you have children or you don't. Most people don't run into the rhetoric and the talking points that are on here. They say, well, a single woman can't get a date, and single mom. Single mothers can get dates, they can get husbands, they can get boyfriends, they can get all that. Even an old person like me can find dates, get a boyfriend, do all of those good things. All of the talking points we hear on here, those are just talking points. You cannot sit and believe what you hear when it's not evidenced in your life. As long as it's not evidenced in your life, there's no point in listening to it, because it's just a talking point. Single women, she's a single woman. She wants to be able to date. She wants to be able to find her a husband. You can find you a husband. You just have to do other things. You just have to do other things. And that doesn't mean borrow. That doesn't mean beg, scrape, and borrow for a man. Any man who feels like you have to borrow, beg, and scrape just because you have children, and then that's not the man for you. You should never, as a single person, you should never date a single man who doesn't have kids. I wouldn't recommend that. But if he has kids and you have kids, I wouldn't worry one whit about me trying to find a husband or him trying to find someone. Date who you want. It's evidenced in your life. Just like your dating group is within the distance of your house, or distance of your work, or distance of your living situation. That's your dating pool within your a small radius. And this should be evidence. Whether you can get a husband or not, it should be evidence within your pool of people. And just act accordingly. That's the way I would do it. I mean, of course you can find a husband. You're not ugly or hideous or nothing. I mean, of course.